Hey everyone, this is Nikki with Delicate Tension Tarot. This is going to be a sign, a sign. Wow. All right. Been a long day, guys. This is going to be a reading for the sign of Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Or if you just have a lot of Cancer placements in your chart, it is going to be applying to the energies surrounding the new moon in Libra on September 28th. Now, this new moon is a lot about bringing things into balance or harmony in our lives, whatever that means for us. Sometimes it can mean approaching things very delicately. For some reason, the energy lately is very jarring. Personally, for me, that is what my experience has been with what I pick up on around me. It feels like somebody is banging a bunch of pots and pans together, and it just feels very conflicting, confusing, and it's this interesting wave of, you know, I've got it, but at the same time I don't. And to be perfectly honest, I feel like the boundaries that are being drawn at this time for a lot of people are pretty intense and severe. I think it's a situation where if we feel like there is not going to be any conflict resolution or any resolution in something, we are just completely cutting it out of our lives and walking away from it. I haven't said that for any of the other videos yet, so maybe that applies to you in some way. I am going to kind of get quiet for a second and really try to tune into what it is that I feel for you guys. I definitely think there's a lot of emotions at this time for you. Whenever I feel like my eyes are watering and I want to cry, that definitely means that there's some intense emotional things going on. I feel like a couple of signs are going to be feeling that way for this new moon. That being said, I definitely want to look at what you're letting go of and what you're bringing into your life, or just what the overall energy is going to be today. It's interesting. It's this energy of it's like I'm hearing the words, I just want to talk, but I feel like talking isn't going to fix anything. If we could just talk about it. If we could just talk. This does feel very relationship based. Although it could, if there's things going on in the workplace that, you know, some of us do have really strong emotional bonds and ties within the workplace or towards our work. So if it is about work, obviously that's going to come up. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started and see what's going on. Oh, everything just looked really blurry. Interesting. Three of Swords. There's that heartache. Nine of Wands. There is that guard. Don't shoot the messenger, but I do feel a very stubborn energy right now with that Nine of Wands. Now, the Nine of Wands usually is about someone really setting boundaries for a very good reason, because they fought very hard. They've endured a lot of trials, and rightfully so. Rightfully so, they should be in that energy. But be careful. You know, like I said in the beginning of the video, and maybe that's why I said it, I feel like right now, because of everything with the intensity, it's almost like you're having to draw boundaries because you feel as if it's very don't come any closer. It's like, please don't come any closer to me at this time, because if you do, I don't know what I'm going to say. And in all reality, if anything does come out of my mouth, it might be you completely being pushed out of my life for good. That's how intense it feels. Whew. Okay, yeah, definitely that intense. What is the other energy connected to this new moon in Libra at this time for Cancer, please? Ooh, Eight of Wands, yeah. There's that. A lot might be coming out of your mouth right now. You are definitely in truth-telling mode with the Seven of Swords in reverse. Let's see what's on the other side of this energy. Nine of Swords in reverse. Ooh, and the Five of Swords in reverse. Yeah, with the World card, just like I said. I feel like you're setting really hard boundaries at this time because of the fact that you've been hurt. I do feel like whatever communication is happening, it's very truth-telling mode. Either that or someone is coming clean about a lot of things. And on the other side of this, I do feel like it's almost as if I think you feel pushed right now like I said, even with the boundaries in place, I think part of you wants to egg on the other person because it almost feels like, right, it's almost like you want to push them to get a reaction out of them. That way, if the reaction comes, you can just cut them out and you'll feel better. Because the Nine of Swords in reverse is about coming out of the energy of not being able to sleep, coming out of the energy about worrying about something. To you, it's like, if I could just nip this in the bud and end it for good, this will solve my problems with this energy here. It's not going to. Okay? It's not going to. At the end of the day, you still have to deal with yourself and you still have to deal with this. So let's go ahead and pull the clarifying energies with what's going on here. Ooh, I feel so tense right now. You know, doing something to help relax might be good for you at this time. I'm not going to take that. Clarify the Three of... Yeah, I think you just want to fight. I think you just want a good fight. I think that's how you feel right now. I think with the intensity of the energy going on, it's almost as if you want to fight for fighting's sake. Like I said, to push the other person, because if you antagonize the other person into acting a certain way, it justifies you totally nixing the situation. It's like, give me one good reason. Let's clarify the Eight of Wands energy here with the Seven of Swords in reverse. Whew. Truth telling mode for sure. The Emperor and the Queen of Swords, you could be very dominating at this time. You could be in very, very strong masculine energy. It's almost like the sense of, I don't know how much I can handle being hurt anymore. So now I'm going to take control of this situation and I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure that I don't. This feels very unlike you guys. I just want to say that. I feel like I need to say that. This feels very unlike you. So maybe the recommendation here for the new moon in Libra energy could simply be, yes, I do think that there is something positive here about not totally allowing people to walk all over you, or just kind of being like, oh, I'm going to wear my heart on my sleeve and I'll forgive this person because the nostalgia around the situation feels so nice and so good that I'll just let them back in. I do feel like you kind of want to stop doing that and you want to stop allowing this to continue happening. But at the same time, at what cost? Let's clarify the Nine of Swords in reverse with the Five of Swords here. We have the Hierophant, the Hermit, I want to get one more card. And we have Judgment. I do think this is a final judgment call in this situation. We do have the Nine of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. I think there is a big realization here that you are not ready for commitment in your life. I think because whatever it is that's going on is making you acutely aware of the fact that you haven't healed something yet. Now, positive stuff here with the Nine of Pentacles. I do think this is going to be a very good month for you monetarily, money-wise. I do think that you're going to be learning to provide stability for yourself. And I think that that's going to be growing for you, which I think is quite beautiful. I think that's what you need right now. And I think you do understand that that's what you need. But it's also the concept of your sense of self-worth is what affects your relationship so strongly. And I think you bend over backwards. I don't think you are anymore, not with this energy. But I feel like you have always bent over backwards to try to appease other people in situations. And it's almost like you reserve or hold back what it is you really want to say in order to make things okay. Now, I do think whatever this is, like I said, you are making the final judgment call on it. I do think you're going to be going into retreat mode. I think that this is going to be a very quiet month for you. To be perfectly honest, I think you're going to be staying quiet until the end of the year with the World card being here. Yeah, I think you're staying away from relationships for quite some time. I don't think that you're going to be facilitating any interaction at all, especially with whatever sex you deal with. Boo. I don't like this energy. I kind of want to see what we can do here to not necessarily fix it. I do think that it is very appropriate for you to go within and to really figure out what this pain is that you need to heal. I do think it's appropriate for you to figure out how to create your own stability. That way that this doesn't keep happening to you. What should Cancer's focus be for the rest of the year? Coming out of feeling stuck. Definitely focusing on self-love. On what makes you happy. Oh yeah, not being on the dating scene, that's for sure. And I do think you need to continue setting healthy boundaries, and it's quite possible that you might need to cut communication off from these people in your life at this time. Yeah. Yeah. I think you need to allow yourself to mourn whatever this is. That being said, I don't want this to sound so like doom and gloom and as if nothing's going to go right for you guys, because like I said, I do think that financially things are going to be on the up and up. I just think that it feels very backwards the way that you want things to happen in your life. It's almost like you feel like if the relationship is established, then everything else will fall into place. But really, it's, whoa, the career that needs to be established first. That way you can create stability within yourself. And then once you're stable enough, you can actually have that space, that energy to facilitate a relationship. Good Lord. Okay, so for this new moon energy, you're definitely going to be sideways. I want to remind you to stay in the present. I want to remind you to stay in the present, because I do think that whatever is happening right now, you are not in your intuitive nature. Whatever you think you know, whatever you think you're sensing, I do not know if it's 100% correct. I think you are all discombobulated. I think you need to be very aware of the gestures you're making towards others. I think you need to be very aware of the gestures people are making towards you. And I think that right now, I honestly am getting the word trigger. Whatever in these situations is triggering you, whatever is eliciting this response out of you, this anger to come to the surface, I do think it's for you to become aware of it so you can work on it, fix it, heal it, utilize it in a different way. Like I said, I think you need to be very careful with how you're communicating right now, and I think you need to be very careful with how you're going to be communicating around the new moon, especially the 3 days before and the 3 days after, because that's usually when the energy is most potent. Please, 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 if you feel like you are going to explode, do it in the comfort of your own home, in your room, outside somewhere where you are not going to be around people, because I really, the intensity behind how you feel is very overwhelming. You don't have to shout to let it out, right? I would like for you guys to try to creatively channel whatever this energy is, if you can. If you need to break shit, go for it. Just don't break other people's shit. I do think you need to be staying away from people right now. I think you do need to go within. I think you need to be with yourself. I think you need to balance out the energies that are within you, and just be mindful of how you're feeling. Explore it. I do not think it's time to be making any extreme decisions, although I think you are going to be doing that no matter what I say. So, you know, this is just the new moon energy. I am going to be doing a first 2 weeks of October update to see what all of that is going to look like, so we can look at the culmination process of new moon to full moon. Hopefully there's going to be answers found there that are going to be a little bit different. But like I said, for right now, let's try to tame the beast within a little bit and keep him on a tight leash. I want to thank you for joining me. If any of this did resonate and you are curious or you need a personal reading to understand your situation a little deeper, you can contact me at delicatetensiontarot@gmail.com. The email is also in the description box below, as well as my Instagram if you want to follow me on there for daily collective energy updates and other little things that I post. It's really no big deal. But yeah, once again, thank you for joining me. I love you guys. Please take care of yourselves. Side note, with the North Node being in your sign and with eclipses being in your sign as well, the energy for you guys in particular is quite crucial, because it is really giving you some hardcore lessons on old behaviors and habits that I think you need to be eclipsing out of your life, especially in terms of self-care and nurturing yourself instead of nurturing others so much. Maybe this is kind of a, what is that word I'm looking for? Catalyst for that. And that's why I really want you to be careful. So yeah, please keep that in mind, and I will see you guys in the October read. Okay.